All right, hey, it's your boy Ron Big Black Garrett. I'm getting ready to make some peanut butter bars, keto friendly. So this is going to be the deal. It's sugar free and all that. It's got all this good stuff in it. So we're going to get right to it. First ingredient is going to be 2 whole sticks of butter. What we're going to do is we're going to soften this in the microwave for about a minute, minute and a half. You want it to be warm because it's going to help break the peanut butter down. As you can see right here, these are the only ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need cacao powder, but that's going to be later. This is Confectioner's Swerve. You can use regular Erythritol. And this is a peanut brand that I found in Publix. And if you look at the ingredients on it, all it is peanuts. And you can look at it and tell that it has just ground peanuts. That's all it is. It's nothing else. I don't do a bunch of macros and all this other stuff. Now, the reason you see this extra butter out here is because I'm actually going to make a double batch, because I'm making one for us and one for my boy Jason Cosby at work. All right, so we're going to get right to it. I'm going to melt this, and then I'm going to give you instructions as you go along. When I post this, I'm going to post a recipe down at the bottom, but I wanted you to see how it goes, okay? So it's going to be two sticks of butter. We're going to add a cup of this peanuts, the peanut butter, and then the rest of the peanut butter we're going to use later for the topping, all right? And then you're going to add a cup and a half of the Swerve or erythritol. You can get powdered erythritol. Okay, all right, so the butter's been melted. Now we have the peanut butter. Now you're gonna see me, you would only use a cup of this, a little over a cup, however to your peanut taste. Now I have 2 brands, one's crunchy, one's creamy. They didn't have the crunchy. I like the crunchy, but if you're gonna make it for someone else that's maybe allergic, that don't like crunchy, then you just use the creamy, all right? But I'm gonna use the crunchy because I like it, and I'm making it for me, and I'm making it for my boy Jason. He likes crunchy, so the rest of the world, oh well. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour it. Normally, like I said, I would measure it out about a little over a cup, put it in there, then I put my cup and a half of Swerve in there. This is very simple, all right? But the reason I'm doing this now today is because, and I want you to see something. This is what real peanut butter looks like. It's got the oil on the top. You have to mix it up real good. I'm not worried about that today because I'm just dumping it, because I'm using the whole thing. All right, and I'm gonna have to put that in there and then come back. Okay, so you can see that I've gotten that in there now. I'm the only person doing this, so just one hand at a time. So I got that in there, and I'm gonna dump the Swerve in there next. And remember, it's a cup and a half, but I'm making double portions today, so it's actually going to be 3 cups for me. So a cup and a half. And all right, then all you're going to do after that is just start mixing this together. That's the consistency you want right there. It doesn't take that long. You can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me or not. We'll see. But I'm not redoing this, so you're going to get it. I'm not a cook. I didn't stay at the Holiday Inn Express last night. You know that old commercial. It doesn't take that long. This is one of the easiest recipes you will ever do. All right. I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay, I'm going to pour the mixture in. Now, I'm not going to actually do this because I need both hands to do this. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to let you see. Now, I want you to notice these pans I got, well, actually should have been about half the size. So when you get your pans, get them smaller, and what it'll do is it'll thicken them up. But I'm dealing with what I got today. I was in a hurry. So those pans, it's gonna make the candy a little bit smaller in size. Mine are normally about that thick, okay? As you can see, we got the bowl right there empty. Now, you don't want to throw that away. You're going to do that for the topping, use that for the topping. But first we've got to set these in the freezer. And before you, what you do is you set these in about 10 minutes. They'll set, and then at 10 minutes, that's when you start working on your topping. And we're going to set these in there and then let them set. Then I'm going to come back and do the topping. While we're waiting on the setup, and you need to really wait about 10 minutes or so because you need it to get hardened a little bit. This is the pan that I just finished off of this. And you can see it's a much smaller pan. Thus, it actually fills, when you put the mixture in, it fills it up a little bit and makes it thicker. All right, these are going to probably be thin, but hey, that's okay too. It'll make them easier to cut. When you put it in here, it's a little bit harder to cut, but it's good. Now, while I'm still waiting on that, when you make the peanut butter mixture, my wife could actually quit there and eat that by itself. She doesn't have to have, she actually prefers it without the chocolate topping. I'm a chocolate guy. I think that it tastes more like a Reese's cup, and I don't miss that stuff. But I'm not one of these keto people that are like, never eat sweeteners, never eating this kind of stuff. That's not me. I do what I want to do. I do what I feel like. I know that I'm not going back to the other lifestyle. And I love the enjoyment of having something that I want. And that's what I'm doing. And every now and then this, especially before I go on a fast, I love to have these for a couple days before I go on a fast. Really, to be honest with you, they're really nothing more than real tasty sweetened fat bombs. That's what they really are. The consistency, like I said, is that of a Reese's cup. We keep ours in the freezer because the freezer, it softens them up when it's outside the freezer, but when they're in the freezer, it makes them harder like a candy. So now I'm gonna flip back around and show you the next step with the cacao powder as soon as I feel like this stuff is hardened. Again, you need to let it harden at least 10, I would even say 10 to 15 minutes, because you're gonna put this warm mixture on top of it. And I mean, I guess if it just goes down and mixes up, it'll be fine because it tastes good either way. Actually, the chocolate topping mixture, if you're just a chocolate lover, you actually can just make this the next step that I do and put that in a little tin. You could also put these things in those silicone molds. You could probably put them in muffin cups. Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that, to make them more like a Reese's cup. Might do that the next time. But I think that's a little bit more work than I'm wanting. I'm lazy, so I just do it all at one time. But you could do that. You could pour a little bit of the mixture into the cups, and I'm motioning with my hand. As you can see, I'm a hand person. But you can do that. And hey, it sounds good. But you can make your own little Reese's cup, and they're sugar-free. I will be putting the macros on at the end, I think. I'm not a macro person anymore. I'm pretty much intuitive. So I eat what I want to eat. I don't overeat. And if I do overeat, I don't worry about it because it's all keto. You can gain weight like that, but I don't really worry about that. My main condition is to keep my diabetes lower. So, and the way I eat intuitively keeps my insulin from spiking up. And that's verified through blood work and testing. So now stuff like this continuously, eating stuff like this continuously, I will postulate that it can stall your weight loss. So use these sparingly, and when you do, make sure that you eat the servings. The servings will be about, I would say 10 to 12. I'm going to put 12 on the paperwork just to keep the macros a little bit lower. So that means that when you cut them up into 12 little chunks, you know. So that's my recommendation. I don't give a rip if you use it or not, but it's on you, all right? I don't even do that. I just cut me off a big chunk of it and I eat it. That's what I do. But for those that are trying to lose weight, you don't need to do that, because calories, even though calories in, calories out is a sin to me, calories still matter. If you overeat continuously, you will gain weight. All right, so be back in a minute. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Now we're gonna, it's really not set yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's give it 20 minutes just to be safe. I've done it quicker than that. I don't know why it's not freezing along. Maybe I got it hotter than normal because I wanted to make sure that it ran smoothly. So let's go ahead and just say 10, let's just go ahead and say 20 to 30 minutes, okay? This has been a work in progress, so we're going to do that. The next step is going to be making the topping. I'm going to go ahead and make that because I'm about at that 20-minute to 30-minute mark. Okay, as you can see, the same bowl. So we're only using one bowl for this. I have made a little mess on the counter, but that's easily cleaned up. But I've got a whole stick of butter in here. But remember, when you make yours, it's going to be a half a stick of butter. I'm doing 2 recipes, just as a reminder. So you're going to go ahead and melt these, and then you're going to add the organic cacao powder, and you're going to add normally 3 tablespoons, but I'm going to be adding 6 because I'm doubling the recipe. And then you're going to add another half a cup of Swerve to that. All right, and actually it's a quarter of a cup. I'm using a half because I'm doing 2 recipes. All right, I almost messed that up. All right, as you can see, I've already melted the butter, and I put the half a cup of peanut butter in there. Remember, I'm doing two portions, so this is actually a full cup in there. All right, and I've already got my it would be a quarter cup of Swerve, but this is a half a cup because I'm making 2 recipes. All right. Now next we're going to add the cacao powder, and I will be putting 6 tablespoons, but remember, you guys would normally do 3, but I'm doing 6 because I'm doing a double recipe. So 3 tablespoons. I don't mean to confuse anybody. If you're confused, then go back to school. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, so I've got the cacao powder in there. Now you're going to do the same thing as you did before. You're just going to come in and you're going to mix it. You see, it sort of looks like a chocolate cake batter. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I need 2 hands to move the bowl around. So I'll be right back. And that's what she looks like when she's done. And as you can see, it's pourable. You want it to be pourable. You pour it and then you spread it over the top of the other mixture. And like I said, I'm actually going to experiment one day and just make this. I haven't put my mouth on this spoon. I'm going to taste it. I always taste everything. I could eat this just by itself. So you can either eat that one by itself, the peanut butter mixture by itself, or you can eat this because this tastes like a chocolate peanut butter mix just by itself. And so I'm going to add just a tad more Swerve in there, like a little bit sweeter. I don't get to eat sweet stuff all the time, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. But you don't have to do that. That's what I do. Sometimes I add less, sometimes I add more. Just because I'm a little persnickety. And I do what I want to do. That's the keto life. Keto life is within the keto realm. When you're eating keto food, you have just a happy life. You're not worried about all this other stuff that you worry about when you're trying to count calories, do all this other stuff that you're trying to do. So bear with me. Be right back. Okay, this is the cooled product. You can tell it's a little thin over here or whatever, but whatever. We're just doing this. Normally it would be like this, more like that. But you're going to pour the mixture on the top and try to cover the whole top up. I have 2 to do, so I'll be right back. And I'm going to pour a little bit just to show you that it does pour. See? All right, be right back. All right, so this is your finished product. As you can see, the warm chocolate is already trying to melt the other, so I had to hurry up and get it in the refrigerator, the freezer, I mean. And then you're going to let it freeze for, up to an hour. You can start eating it, 30 minutes to an hour. I've gotten it out as quick as 30 minutes and eating it. It's a little softer, but it's good. So, and I'm doing this. I just brought the other one out, but I'm doing this to show you that I actually made 2. And you see how quick that was. I come home some nights and I want some of this. I'll just make it. It only takes a little bit. And that wraps it up, folks. That is the chocolate peanut butter bars. The last thing I'm going to do is give you the macros So give me a little bit. I have to go and put that in because I never use macros. So I'll be back in just a second to finish up. And I'm going to actually cut a piece of it to let you see what it looks like after it's cut. All right, folks, this is the finished product. This is out of the freezer now. I just put them out to get you, have a look at them. If you'll notice, on the top, these little white specks, that's actually salt. And I actually, in the chocolate process, you should add, when you're mixing the chocolate, add about a quarter of a teaspoon, up to a teaspoon of salt. It just brings out the flavor of the chocolate. And I forgot that. Or you can do what I just did, and my mother-in-law actually suggested it. She said just take it in and press it in on top, and so it's become like a salted chocolate thing. So I'm gonna cut into ours. This one's from my buddy Jason. Jason, look at there, buddy. It's coming for you. All right, but I'm gonna cut in, and I'm trying to. I think I got my serving size wrong. I put 10 servings for this thing, but man, that's a pretty big chunk if it's 10. So. And I'm messing it up. Hold on for a second. As you can see, my serving sizes are all jacked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my servings, and I'm going to put 15. And that's going to be an approximate thing. You guys are just going to have to monitor it if you know, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this serving thing. Like I said, normally this thing would be about this size, and then the servings would have been right on point, about 10. So I'm gonna leave it that. But for this one right here, it's gonna be about, I'm gonna be able to get about 15 pieces, but you can tell they're uneven. So you're just gonna have to go with it, all right? But this is what the finished product looks like. I'm gonna take off one of these. As you can see, look at that. Reese's Cup, baby, except for sugar-free, delicious. Don't worry, I'm gonna eat that one that I have my finger on. So hold on for just a second, I'll be right back. So that's it, and play around with it. You may actually have to play around with the servings to keep yourself under your macro goals. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. I just eat and eat and eat, and I still lose weight. So that may not be you, so don't take it from the big guy that's you, all right? But I just want to thank you for letting me come in. I struggled making this video by myself. I should have waited till my wife came home, but I was so excited to get you something tasty to try that you can have and to show you that keto is not boring. Now, like I said, be careful. If you're metabolically damaged, like I am, when I first started keto for the first 5 months, I didn't eat anything sweet. I didn't eat anything with sweeteners in it. Well, I take that back. I did one time. We had a celebration for Christmas. That's what it was. I did eat, my wife made this cake. So it was about 3 months in. So for the first 3 months, I didn't eat anything sweet. And then after that, it was only like once every 2 weeks I would eat something sweet. Lately, it's been a little bit more, but that's because I'm in a different zone right now because I'm fasting and there's some other things. I try to charge up before fasting, and I do extended fasting and stuff like that, but that's another video. So I pray that you like it. If you have any questions about needing any tips on making this, I think it was pretty simple. If I'm making it, your pet monkey can make it. So don't even try to trip. But it's a good thing. All right. Well, God bless you. I pray that you enjoy. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think. God bless. Oh, hey, I almost forgot the macros. I'm sorry. 482 calories, 14 grams of carbs. So, hey, one serving is going to hit you. So you need to make sure that you that you're watching those carbs. Make sure that you dial that in to your carb intake. And 44 grams of fat, and everything else is pretty minuscule in it. There's no sugar. So that's it. That's your boy signing off from today. Hey, I pray that you have a Jesus-filled day. Hey, I love you. God bless.